Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome back to Extra Innings. I am your host, William Soto, and I'm here with TJ Zeuch. TJ plays for the Rochester Red Wings, AAA affiliate of the Washington Nationals, and he is a pitcher. He is from Mason, Ohio, and attended the University of Pittsburgh. How you doing today, TJ?
Doing great. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. First time on the show. We're really glad to have you on. We're really trying to grow the Ohio baseball, get people aware of all the players that are out there. So starting back when you were at Mason, Ohio, when you graduated, you had a full ride from Pittsburgh, and you also were drafted by the Royals. The Royals also drafted your father. What was that decision like to go to college and not follow in your father's footsteps and go to play for the Royals?
The decision at that time was relatively easy. I mean, obviously, it's great to be drafted in any round out of high school, and
Oh, of course.
all teams buying the team that drafted my father. But we kind of had that plan set, unless it was going to be like a life changing signing bonus, so we were going to go the college route.
That's fair because for some, that bonus is life changing,
Yeah.
and it's huge. But so you decided to go to Pitt. You had a fantastic career. Round one by the Blue Jays, pick 21. Can you kind of just describe, what did it feel like? You are the highest drafted Pitt Panther, and you're the first Mason Comet drafted. Did that kind of resonate with you at all? Like, wow, like I really did something good.
Yeah, I mean, draft night was filled with pretty much nothing but nerves and anxiety, right leading up to when I heard my name called. But then after that, it was almost like this sense of relief, like all this, like I said, all that nerves and anxiety kind of just left, and I was, ecstatic to get drafted, and a great organization like Toronto, and like you said, be the highest Pitt Panther we've ever drafted, and the first comment. It really did feel like I did something special.
Yeah, and like you said, it's if you're the last pick or the first pick, just getting drafted in general is amazing. But you accomplished so much in your young career, and to get drafted so early, it's just like wow, like all those late nights, early mornings, the lifts, the throwing, all those silly drills sometimes that you see people do. You're doing these arm drills, and you're watching these videos online. Like, what is that doing for you? But you did it all, and it worked out for you. So you spent a majority of your career with the Buffalo Bison. You moved all the way up the rankings in their farm system. And then towards the end of your time with Buffalo, you not only made your MLB debut, but you also threw a no-hitter with the Buffalo Bison. Can you kind of talk about what the Blue Jays did for you to get to where you are now?
Well, the biggest thing they did was develop me as a professional. Learning how to develop my own routine and how to go about things as a professional. In college, pitching once a week, which is very different from as a starter in professional baseball. You're going once every 5 days. So kind of losing those 2 extra days is a pretty big deal, especially when you first get into it. But in the spring trainings and early on in my career, developing a solid routine that would allow me to be out there every 15.
Yeah. And it's good that they're able to help, and because you started back in a time where there was all the minor league levels. We've kind of shrunken a little bit after COVID, so each level you grow a little bit more. And I've talked to previous players that say, you know, at the lower level things are a little slow, but things aren't as organized as when you get old. When you get not older, but you grow in the organization, things get more tighter. Things start to round up like, oh, I'm getting closer to the MLB. And so thinking back now to your draft day, you're with the Blue Jays. You make your MLB debut with the Blue Jays. How does it feel to be one of the few pitchers left in the game who had an at bat? Like you got to go up to plate and have an at bat.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve wracking. I remember distinctly walking up to the plate and telling the catcher, just don't hit me.
Don't hit me.
Mike Fultonevich at the time, he was throwing 95 miles an hour.
Yep.
I haven't swung a bat since I was a freshman in high school, and I'm just, like I said, please just don't hit me. So
I know, because I wouldn't even know what to think, because you think of somebody like Madison Bumgarner. That dude will get up there and he's like, if you throw me a fastball, I'm gonna hit it over the fence. And I just couldn't imagine his, in today's game, all these kids getting called up now. They've never once had to pick up a stick.
Right.
You actually got to have an at bat, which I think is crazy to think about. And then with that game, you recorded your first MLB strikeout. Quick question: do you have it? Does your dad have it, or does your high school coach have it?
it is at my parents' house in a case that is verified by MLB. I don't know what it is for, but it's got the sticker on it. And everything,
Yep, that's awesome. Well, good. I'm glad that it's somewhere special for you. And now, not to rub anybody the wrong way, but we are in Rochester tonight, where he threw that no-hitter against Rochester, but nothing but love for Rochester. We love it. Great people, and now he's with Rochester. So hopefully we squish all that bad hate away. when you signed late with the Nationals and you were with Rochester, you really didn't get that full spring training. What have you been able to do to stay hot and sharp and get ready to rock and roll because you didn't have a traditional spring training?
I think that, I mean, just stay as ready as you can, right? Right. Do it, get the throwing programs in, throw off the mound as often as you can. I think the biggest thing that you miss out on for stuff like that is when you're throwing to hitters.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting readjusted to having hitters in there is it takes some time, but you just kind of stay as ready as you can.
Yeah.
Just be ready when the opportunity comes.
No, and that's the best answer to give because you had that short time, you had to rock and roll and get ready. So quick outlook for 2024. What are you? If TJ had to say, this is what I want out of 2024, what is that?
I think my biggest goal for this year is just to stay healthy and get a full year of innings under my belt without missing any time.
No, yeah, that's a very fair answer. Well, TJ, thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate it. TJ Zeuch, call this man's career. He's going to be doing really big things, and thank you so much for being on today's episode.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.